Well, hello and welcome back to the Ashley Beeman Show. I'm about to hit record on my podcast. I am seriously over here multitasking. I have Instagram Live over here, I have YouTube Live over here, I have my afternoon coffee. If you guys haven't seen this is so, is this even a trend? But we can talk about it real quick before I hit record on the podcast. Basically, this is just coffee blended up, but I'm in prep right now and this is like heaven. So I did coffee, a little bit of almond milk, and then chocolate, liquid stevia, and it's just hitting the spot this afternoon. I normally do a protein afternoon coffee, but because of the way that my macros are right now, I am seriously loving this because I want to eat my protein rather than drink it. Anyways, we're going to hit record. I'm excited to talk about this today. I don't have any notes. I'm just going to riff off the top of my head, but let's go ahead and do that. Hello, and welcome back to the Ashley Beeman Show. I'm excited today. This is going to be a short and sweet episode. Months ago, I was doing Monday mindset shift episodes, and I kind of have gotten away from that because I've gone into like doing one podcast episode a week, but hopefully we can start to get back to that. I know that you guys really, really love those episodes. And at the gym this morning, I was thinking about one major mindset shift that really changed the game for me when it came to my health, my fitness, and seeing sustainable weight loss. So if you don't know my story, I struggled for over a decade with yo-yo dieting. I was really deep in diet culture, searching for the next quick fix, searching for the next thing to just make my body smaller. And the problem is I was able to lose the weight, but I was never able to sustain the weight. And I could never figure out what the problem was. I thought I was the problem. I thought my body was the problem. I thought sustainable weight loss just wasn't a thing. There came a time in my journey after that decade of yo-yo dieting where I swung over to the other side of anti-diet. And I was convinced that sustainable weight loss was not a thing. I listened to the anti-diet world. I listened to a lot of intuitive eaters. I listened to a lot of people who I did learn from, however, that just were not correct. And the reason that I know it's not correct is because since then I have lost 60 pounds. I almost said gained. I lost 60 pounds. That took me about 3 years, and I have kept that 60 pounds off for 5 years. And through that process, I learned a lot about science. I learned a lot about how my body worked. And I've also worked with hundreds of women to lose weight sustainably. So I understand how the entire process works and how it's all connected. I truly believe that health, fitness, weight loss, all of these things, it's all encompassing. Too often, we're looking at just specific parts of the plan in order to get us to where we want to go. But the problem with that is that we work together as like an entire unit. So I always say that health is all encompassing, meaning it includes your mind, your body, and your soul. And if you don't work together as an entire unit, you're going to have a really hard time sustaining that weight loss. So yes, you do need to have a plan that's going to work for you. You also need to work on your mindset, and you have things that you need to shift. You have beliefs you need to shift. You have new identities that you need to step into in order to create sustainable weight loss. In order to be able to lose the weight and keep it off, you're going to have to shift your identity. You're not going to be able to live the life that you're living and keep this weight off. But it doesn't have to be so drastic. And that's what I want to talk about today. So one of the biggest mindset shifts that I had and that I have my clients go through when they first start working with me is really focusing on consistency over chaos. I think, and I know oftentimes we are addicted to the dopamine hit that chaos brings us. And when I'm talking about chaos, I'm talking about all of these crazy restrictive diets, all of these like biohacking things that are out there on the internet, all of these like little minor details that tend to get a lot of attention on social media tend to cause a lot of chaos in our life. And we're addicted to chasing that chaos because consistency doesn't feel like it's enough. consistency feels like it's almost too easy and therefore it's not going to work. But what the reality of the situation is consistency is what's going to get you from point A to point B. It's what's going to allow you to lose the weight and keep the weight off long after you've done that. But it doesn't feel like it because we're bombarded with all of these messages on a daily basis on how we need to do this list of 10 or 20 different things a day in order to see the results that we have. Or we start playing victim, we start pointing our fingers at other things that we cannot control. But the truth of the matter is you have control over your health. You have control over your fitness. You have control over your nutrition. And yes, there are things that we cannot control, but we don't want to focus on those things. We want to focus on the things that we can control. So one of the major things that I ended up doing with my own journey, a little more background about me if you did not know, I am somebody who has major ADHD. I'm also unmedicated because I became highly addicted to Adderall when I was prescribed that. So I have almost been Adderall free for 9 years. And through that process, one thing that I learned is that I can literally get my dopamine from anywhere. So even if you don't have ADHD, you can apply this to you. I can get my dopamine from anywhere if I'm aware of it. If not, the places that I'm getting my dopamine from are probably going to take me down a path that doesn't feel good to me. It's not going to take me closer to my goals. It's going to move me further away from my goals. So when I realized that I was addicted to the chaos and to searching for the next best thing or doing something that's extremely hard or trying to find the next restrictive thing or adding more things on my to-do list, like I was addicted to the newness and the trying to figure things out. And then once the newness kind of wore off, then it was like, okay, what's the next thing? And so again, I was addicted to that chaos. And a lot of people are extremely addicted to that chaos, which is why they tend to yo-yo diet. And when I took a step back and I could realize that I could actually get my dopamine from being consistent, the game changed. And I had to shift over getting my dopamine from chaos to consistency. And you can do the same thing. It just has to be a process of taking a little bit of effort to break the cycle, to break the pattern in order for you to start craving that consistency. Because if anybody walked with me throughout my day, they'd be like, your day is so freaking boring. I do the same things day in and day out. And I don't think it's boring because now I get my dopamine from this consistency rather than getting it from things that are taking me further away from my goals, which would be chaos. So it's little simple things that you can shift and you can do in order to move this over. But even just sitting down and making a list, like where are you currently getting your dopamine from? Is it something like if you're picking up your phone all the time and scrolling, you're getting your dopamine from that. Okay. But is that getting you closer to your goal or is that moving you further away from your goal? Are there things that you are maybe eating on a daily basis that are bringing you some kind of dopamine hit that is moving you further away from your goal? Write it all out. And the next list I want you to make is if you were not getting dopamine from this list that's moving you further away from your goals, what would you rather be doing? How would you rather be getting your dopamine? Where would you rather be getting it from, right? I used to get dopamine from hitting the snooze button on my alarm clock every single morning. And when I decided that I wanted to get dopamine from getting up early, I got excited about it. I had some kind of reward. So I created this morning routine that really felt good to me. It doesn't have to be this hour-long thing. It just needed to be something that I needed to get excited about. It's the same thing with like your workouts. If you make a routine where you're kind of getting a dopamine hit from that routine, whether that be like creating a calendar. I have a client that I can think of, and she does this very well. She creates a calendar and she puts like little star stickers on the calendar when she gets her workout in or she hits her macros or those sorts of things. And that's where she's getting her dopamine from. She has shifted the way that her brain works so that she can get the dopamine from the consistency rather than from something else. And when you can do this with like one simple habit in your life, you can realize that you can do it with every other habit in your life, and it's going to get you closer to where you want to go. So again, make a list of all of the ways that you're currently getting your dopamine, where you're getting that excitement, what that chaos is, What are those things that are moving you further away from your goals? And then make a list of what you would rather be doing instead. And how can you slowly start to shift these things and implement these things throughout your day? How can you start to reward yourselves in different ways so that consistency can start to be a part of you? Yes, it's going to take a little bit of effort at the beginning, but if you can get yourself excited about picking up your phone and scrolling for 10 or 20 minutes, you can get yourself excited about being consistent. That is what I have for you guys today. I hope this has helped you. If you guys have any mindset shifts that you want me to touch on this podcast, please send me a message. I would love to hit on those for you. And I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.